Good morning, everyone. How is everyone this morning? It is Tuesday morning, and it's going to be a sweltering day again in Toronto. Today is my anniversary. I wanted to share that with you all because I forgot, and I forget a lot of the time. I think I've forgotten most years. Usually it's my partner who forgets. Actually, both of us forget. Today he remembered, and I only remembered when he walked in the door after going for a walk this morning with some flowers, and he reminded me. Despite my mother-in-law and my parents reminding me it was my anniversary, I still forgot. Anyway, we've been together for 14 years, married 14 years, together 16 years, and we're happier than we've ever been. And the reason is actually we practice on a daily basis all the tools that I give my couples. It is constant work. It is lovely work, but we're constantly working on our relationship, on ourselves, and remaining curious about each other, which is really the number one thing to do in order to remain best friends. So for those of you who don't know me, or if you're watching the replay, my name is Samantha Reynolds, and I'm the owner of Modern Child Parenting. I am a Dr. Gottman certified educator, and I'm about to graduate in 10 days from Dr. Shefali's Conscious Parenting Life Coaching Institute. So I'll be a conscious parenting life coach. I coach couples in order to regain the communication, connection, and intimacy they had prior to parenthood. So last week, we spoke about conscious parenting and some of the differences between conscious parenting and traditional parenting. Today, I'm going to follow that a little bit more. I'm going to piggyback on that. And I'm going to talk today about how culture sets us up, parents, to fail. Not fail ourselves, but to fail our children. And this is according to Conscious Parenting by Dr. Shefali. So, children need, ultimately, to captain their own ship, right? That's not our ship. It's not our job to captain their ship, right? They need to be able to captain their own ship in life. But as parents, it is vital, right? It's vital to understand that in order for children to be able to do that, they need to be in touch of who they are inside. They need to be guided to ask questions of themselves so they get to know themselves better. But we can't get to know ourselves better if we're being shuttled to activity after activity, and if our life is being controlled and micromanaged. And us as parents need to role model this in terms of the mindfulness and going deep within ourselves and asking those questions and modeling that for our kids. So I was raised, and I'm sure all of you out there, or many of you out there, and parents still are doing this, raised by the mantra, you are what you do, right? Our culture is steeped in this. You are what you do. You're not you are who you are. You are what you do. Culture tells us the busier you are, the better. The busier you are, the more in control you are of your life. And we pass that message on to our kids. I definitely grew up in a world like that. If you wanted to take a nap, in my world growing up, it was shamed. If you just wanted to sit in the living room and look out the window, it wasn't really allowed. You had to be busy. You had to be doing activities all the time. You know, you weren't allowed to just be, to get to really know yourself. Now, why do us parents do that? Why? Because we're acting from a place of fear. And I do it too. I'm so guilty of it. I'm constantly talking to myself about this. We have fear that our kids may miss out. We have a fear that they may not be the success we hope them to be, or they won't be as successful as we would like them to be. Because success in our society is measured by grades. It's measured by what college you go to. Do you fit in with the right crowd? How much money do you make? Where do you live? How big is your house? What vacations do you go on? That's what it's measured on, right? And I empathize how difficult it is to let go of control of your kid's life. Because honestly, what conscious parenting and what I believe is that the antidote to this fear we have is to let go of control. Let go of the control of our kids' lives. Let go of the idea of who you think your child should be. Let go of our fears of the future. And it's so hard to do when we all grew up with the conditioning of you hit these benchmarks, right? You get straight A's, you get on the honor roll, you might be captain of a team, you might, get into a great college or university, and then you get a great job and you make lots of money and live in a big house, and that equals happiness. And you might be happier, possibly, I don't know, than someone who doesn't have some of this. But statistically, there's no reality in this, right? Just because you hit these benchmarks does not mean you're going to be successful, and does not mean you're actually going to be happy and get what you want out of life. So it's very important as parents. Parents are obsessed right now with activity, and activity is an antidote to fear, right? Activity, antidote to fear. The busier you are, the more in control you feel of your life, right? I'm totally guilty of that too. I really, really am. And like I said, I'm constantly talking to myself all the time about this, about not controlling. An example happened yesterday in my house. My son had a piano lesson. And granted, that's another thing. The piano is not his choice, it's my choice. I'm so aware of this, and I'm so aware that it's my choice, not his. I'm making him do it. He doesn't hate it, but he doesn't love it. I'm making him do it because I wasn't allowed. I only went to piano so many years, and I wish my parents had not stopped pushing me taking lessons. So I'm doing that to my kid, and I'm aware that by the time he's a teenager, I probably won't be able to do that anymore. But anyway, he came upstairs half an hour after the lesson. I mean, when the lesson was still going on, and immediately in my body, I felt, oh no, what's going on? Oh no, already dreading, I'm judging him. He comes, he says, my tummy hurts. I'm like, oh, there's a part of me that my whole mind just wanted to say, oh, come on, buck up. Come on. I wanted to shame him in a way. I wanted to say, come on, where are you? Sissy, go back and finish the lesson. You have 15 minutes. I said, no, I wanted to say all these things, but I didn't. I really tried to see my kid. And I had two choices in this moment, right? Two choices. See my kid, shame, manipulate, have an argument, basically, and we both feel awful. I decided to see my kid. I was like, okay. He's crying. He's really upset. Okay. So I go downstairs. I find out from the piano teacher what they've been doing. Very difficult things they've been doing. It manifested in a tummy ache for my son. We spoke about it. We spoke about strategies. So I made that choice. I don't always make the right choice. I don't, believe you me. But if I'd made this choice of pushing him, we would have come into a big argument. Both of us would have felt horrendous, and the lesson probably wouldn't have finished anyway. He probably wouldn't have finished the lesson anyway. It would have been a big lose-lose. So that's what I mean about control, right? I tried to control initially, but in the end, I decided to let go and not control the end result, not control, because it's not worth it sometimes. So what do our kids really need from us? What do they need from us? Yes, they need food. Yes, they need shelter. But do they need a new iPad? Do they need a new phone? Do they need a new sneaker? Do they need new basketball? Do they need stuff? No. They need three things from us, according to conscious parenting. They need to feel like they are seen. So am I seen? Am I worthy? Do I matter? So let's go over them again. This is what kids need from you, and it's extremely important. I grew up in a home where I was not seen, did not feel worthy or matter. And I know that it's a real challenge as you get to be an adult. So, am I seen? Okay? Am I seen? See your child for who they are before what they do. It's very difficult to do this sometimes. See who they are before the A grade, before they win that trophy, before they get into that school. See who they are before they make that money. See them, right? Am I worthy? Am I worthy of your love? Or is your love conditional? Will you love me only if I get A grades? Will you love me only if I play AAA hockey? Will you love me only if I do what you say? Will you not love me if I argue with you? Will you not love me if I choose to do creative writing as opposed to a sport or biology or something? Will you love me if I don't agree with you? And do I matter? Right? Do I matter to you? Do you know who I am? Do I matter? These are all so important. Do I matter to you? Do you know who I am? Are you interested in me? Kids need to know those three things from you above all else. Am I seen? Am I worthy? Do I matter? When they can say yes to those three, you've done your job as a parent, in my opinion. You've done it. They will be full of self-confidence. They will be allowed to be who they are, which will benefit them not only, like I said, self-confidence, social relationships, pursuing something they're inherently interested in. Once they find that thing that they love, you won't need manipulation. You won't need bribes. You won't need any shaming or yelling or screaming. You won't need it. But kids need to be allowed that time to discover who they are. But how are they ever going to be allowed that time if they're being shuttled to activity? I mean, it's even hard for me. I'm not an expert. I'm an expert in that I know what I'm talking about, but in my own life, excuse me, sorry, I'm continually working on this. So this COVID, the one thing that's done for us is, out of this COVID, my son has discovered a love of reading. Okay? He reads all the time. I think he's read 6 books this past month. He reads all the time. And yes, I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky he loves to read. And I realize that. A lot of parents struggle with this. But still, there's a part of me that wants to control that. There's a part of me that's like, but is it too much reading? How can he read for 4 hours a day? How can he do that? Because I can't do that. So now I'm coming into judgment. I'm trying to control it, be like, come on, come play a game with me. Come do this with me. But who is this about? It's about me. It's not about him at all. He's discovered something he loves to do. He discovered it all by himself. And this COVID allowed him to do that because we were home. We couldn't leave. That's what happened. So that's what my husband and I learned, is like, you leave them alone. Try to give them time and space to discover who they are. And then then whatever they discover that they love to do, they'll just do it innately. You won't have to push them. Anyway, so culture really, really does a disservice to us parents, especially if we buy into it. And it's hard not to buy into it. It's all around us. It's indoctrinated on us, or in us. Grandparents, parents, me. So grandparents, parents, me, society, the school, everybody's telling you to do all these things. If you don't do these things, your child won't be a success, whatever that means. I urge you to take a step back. Again, look at the child in front of you and ask, if they're old enough, ask him or her, do you still want to do this activity 4 or 5 times a week? Or is it my dream? Is it your dream or is it my dream? See them. Make them matter. Make them feel worthy in your eyes. And make them be seen for who they are and the gifts they bring. So thank you so much for listening this morning. I realize all of you want the best for your kids. And it's not an easy job. It's the toughest job ever out there. It's the toughest job. But try to keep in mind the choices you're making and think, is it for me or is it for my child? Especially when it has to do with extracurricular. You know, kids need to go to school, right? There's certain things, a child does need to do. But is it for me or is it for my child? So I encourage you, again, look at your child and try to see inside the goodness, even if they yell at you, even if they use bad words and name call. That's just in a moment, right? That's a moment of anger, a moment of frustration. It has nothing to do with you. It's just a moment. But remember to see the inside of them and the goodness and the love they have and the uniqueness they have. Anyways, thank you so much. Have a wonderful Tuesday. And if I don't jump on again this week, I'll be here next week, Tuesday, 10 a.m. And I encourage you, if you want to get to know me a little better, go to my website, modernchildparenting.com, and read my bio. And I encourage you also, if you just want to get to know me, book a 20-minute call. No obligation. Book a 20-minute call and talk to me about what's going on with you. Talk to me and let's see if we can sort some things out. So I'll put all the links in the bio from the video. But thanks so much, and take care of yourselves. Bye.